So this is Siege X launch. So we have Clash rework, right? We have Jackal, BB, Thunderbird, I'm not sure. That doesn't fucking matter. What else do we have? Jackal, Thunderbird, BB. We need the dev nodes. Jaeger. Oh, you're right. Jaeger. So yeah, I knew I forgot something that was blatantly obvious. What else are we missing? Oh my god, there's a bunch of operators here. Just gonna double check. Blackbeard, Clash, Sledge. Doesn't matter. Jackal, Jaeger, Thunderbird, Brava. Also Brava doesn't matter. Ella Sophia. Ella/Sophia. And that is it, right? That is it. So, which of these matter? I think Jaeger. Jaeger is definitely going to be a stronger operator now. There's no doubt about it. Jaeger getting buffed to be more on par with Mr. Wamai. It's a pretty big deal. So we're going to move Jaeger up from C, below average, to B, balanced. And then we're probably going to move Wamai down as well in retrospect, because Wamai no longer outweighs Jaeger massively. Wamai goes here. So Wamai goes down 1. So Wamai -1. Jaeger +1. We're going to fuck off with this. We're going to add here Clash rework. There we go. Jaeger +1, Wamai -1. That's the first change. Jackal. Jackal's terrible. Where's Jackal? Jackal's gonna go down 1. Does Jackal go down 2? Jackal changed, by the way. He now has 5 tracker scanners, whatever. But when you scan a pair of footsteps, you only get 1 singular red ping, no follow-up. So it's like red pinging with a drone. And the footsteps disappear, so you can't retrack the same footstep, just like before. And the footsteps don't generate during prep phase. Which means if you have a Valkyrie on bank, run top floor, put a camera, run down, and then the round starts, there will be no footsteps on top floor. Because the footsteps only start work like tracking when the round is active. So Jackal is honestly, I think he might be utter garbage. I think it might be I think we're at that stage right now. I think this guy is actually a complete waste to play. I don't see the use for him. I think Fuse is a higher use case of anything. It's a very, very, very big nerf, especially when you compare him to Deimos, who's like his counterpart in a lot of ways. Dokkaebi, Lion, whatever. They all work differently but similar. And Jackal in the current meta, even before the nerf, also is barely ever played in competitive play, and even a high elo ranked it is not played. Because again, Dokkaebi, Lion, Deimos. So Jackal's useless, unlucky. Then you have Thunderbird change. I don't think this matters at all. Thunderbird will now only heal allies, and it will damage enemies, almost like a Guma. It's just, it's like a little stings you, right? 10 damage or something. Completely useless. So Thunderbird hasn't gotten any better or worse, but they have changed her a little bit. Same at Brava. If you now hack a Thunderbird station, instead of destroying it, it will now be healing the attackers and damaging defenders. They give a reason for Jackal nerf? Great question. Siege patch notes. Great question. I think they want you to hunt the footsteps instead of tracking the footsteps. I think that's what like they envision you to do. We can check what they say. We believe the most frustrating aspect of Jackal's ability is the time he can keep you pinged with relatively low effort. Scanning a hottest red set of footprints, even though sometimes dangerous, allows him to track the enemy for almost half a minute without putting in any additional effort or being in any kind of danger. To address this issue, we've decided to reduce the outcome of a scan to always result in a single ping. This means that scanning a set of footprints will give you the precise position of the enemy, but it will last as long as a regular red ping. In other words, it's fucking terrible. Keep in mind that the scan set will be erased when the scan is completed, so Jack will be trading precise location for the ability to actively track the target until it reaches the last known location. This is the issue. You cannot track footsteps in Siege because defenders own the building. You'll just die. And it could be, and like, you can track a footstep, the guy's like far away holding the angle for the doorway or whatever, right? And a single red ping with the footsteps disappearing is a problem. It would be better if the footsteps wouldn't go away after you scanned it. Or, crazy idea actually. So you know how you have like 5 charges? What if you could choose how many charges to spend, like Hibana? You know, Hibana has 2, 4, and 6 Cairo pellets. What if you can choose a Jackal 1, 2, or 3 of your 5 charges and take these 3 and track this footstep, and then this person gets tracked 3 times. Now you only have 2 left. I would like that more, because then you get a decision, there's some skill involved, and if you track the wrong guy with 3 charges, and you're tracking the guy on the bomb site, like you gain no value. So you don't even know if you're tracking the roamer. So you gotta like either know the footstep categories like before, or just, you know, make that gamble or have intel. I personally wouldn't be against this. Because now there's again some decision making involved with it. And then it's worse than before, because before you could do 3 tracks in red duration. Now you can do 1 track in red duration and then 1 track in green or blue, whatever the second one is. So I feel like this is like, it's a nerf, or you can also do 5 singles, which you couldn't do before. Imagine all 5 and they get a mute. Hey, 3's the cap, Elitane, okay? 3's the cap. Also, yeah, like Deimos can do it too. I think the thing is, at least with Deimos, you need to like red ping them. But I don't think this actually holds up. I like this more. I think it's, again, a little bit contradicting. We want to enhance his ability to actively track targets, as we believe this is the real strength and the one that better balances the risk and reward. Therefore, we have increased the duration of the coldest blue footprints. These prints will now be between 60 to 120 seconds. They do not provide a lot of information, but will help him to get on track faster. Remember that the footprints are not generated during the prep phase anymore, also a nerf, so defenders are free to move around and prepare the site for the assault without being punished. Even if a defender is late returning to the site and gets scanned, they will only get pinged once. This is also the thing. You can literally sprint top floor and hide in a corner, and now Jackal doesn't matter. Because you won't see any footsteps, and then there'll be a guy hiding somewhere. So like, I feel like this doesn't... It kind of breaks his fantasy a bit. So yeah, 2 to 5 pings. Maybe you could do 5 on 1 operator then, yeah. Either way, I'm not a fan. Anyway, so he's terrible now. Clash rework. Where is Clash? Clash was an A above average before. I don't think this changes. I still think Clash is an above average operator, but she works differently. I think there's a world where she gets worse because people will play her differently as well. Before, you play Clash like you play Monty. Shield up all the time, possible to kill, red ping, sap, give information, right? You're annoying to fucking deal with. Now with the ability to put the shield down, we will see players put it down and the shield getting destroyed, and now Clash is a regular operator. We'll see people put down the shield, go for a risky swing, lose the gunfight, and now Clash doesn't exist anymore. So because you're now having a choice to go aggressive with your gadget being pre-placed, we are gonna see people, especially in ranked play, misuse the operator. Because in my mind, you should almost never put the shield down because you risk losing it completely, and the operator again, you lose your gadget. So I feel like Clash doesn't change because she's still good, but you have a possibility of fucking up how to play her. And she's stronger in other ways, like she can retake faster, she can jump out windows, she can now play more aggressive around your teammates. However, you also cannot sap for damage. So, still gonna be a very frustrating operator, but yeah. Thunderbird doesn't matter. BB change, also think doesn't matter. BB now has a visor, and a sound cue, I believe, on his ADSing with the shield. It's now like, it's like a quality of life. It's not a nerf. He still works the same way. There's just a more clear indication of whether he's ADSing you or not, which based on the room you're fighting him in is very difficult. The visor is dark and the map in Siege X is darker in general in coloration and saturation. So it's harder to see the black visor because the rooms are dark too. So it's kind of one of those. But I think he stays above average. Don't think it matters. Jaeger, we spoke about. Ella Sophia. Where is Sophia? We can't really take her away from balance. She's not below balanced. But essentially what happened with Sophia and Ella, covered this earlier as well. It's a little bit sad. Essentially, the radius went from, is it 7 to 4? Yeah, 7 to 4. So before you had an explosive radius of 7 meters, now it's 4 meters, so almost half in reduction, right? So what we had earlier on my stream happened. This is catwalk on Clubhouse. This is what we call Cat 1. The staircase is here, right? C1, C2. I was standing down here and I Sophia'd up like this. And I was like, oh, catwalk's clear. Easy, because I knew there was a guy above me, or I thought there was a guy above me, and I heard him like in this ish area, and I shot my Sophia, nothing exploded, so I thought, it's clear, I'm gonna walk up, I died. Essentially, the radius before was pretty much like you would shoot, and you would aim for a target, and you would hit him, and it would go this big. Now the circle is more like, you know, this big. So if you're aiming for a guy in C2, but the guy's playing C1, you're not gonna hit the concussion mine. It won't reach him, because there's more than 4.5 or 4 meters between C1 and C2. So it makes Sophia worse, because you're using it to scout for information. Whereas for Ella, it doesn't really change Ella, because almost every single Grismop mine in the entire game is a door. You have a door, and above the door, you have an Ella mine. Or you have a staircase, and on the staircase, there is an Ella mine. So the fact that the Ella's radius got reduced doesn't change Ella at all, but it does fuck with Sophia quite a lot. So I don't think it's gonna make Sophia a worse operator than B tier. She got can opener, she has self-destruction, she's more of like a flick support these days. And Ella was utter garbage, and it's gonna stay utter garbage because the gun is awful, and now the gadget is technically weaker as well. So won't matter. So that's really it. That's really it. I don't think electricity is gonna change anything. It's not gonna make any operators better or weaker in my mind. Like, electricity can now sap defender gadgets, but jammers are immune. So the one operator that could get fucked doesn't get fucked. It does make Kaid and two-brow tricking a little bit more tricky because you can't just toss your shit on the wall itself. You have to now... Like, question chat. Does bandit batteries sap kite claws? Because they're both electrifying gadgets. If the mute jammer is immune, isn't the kite claw immune as well? Does anyone know? Because I haven't tried this because there was bandit and kite in the test server. If you throw a Kite Claw on a bandit electrified wall, does it get zapped? Or is it immune? I feel like it has to be immune. Even though I would like for it not to be. I feel like it has to be. It's immune? Okay. Tubarão is not immune, correct? Where the fuck is Tubarão? Is Tubarão not in this? Oh, it's here. Is Tubarão immune? It's not, right? Pretty sure Tubarão gets zapped. Pretty sure. But I don't know. I actually have no... I haven't seen a single Tubarão on test server as well. Maybe I should try it. Immune? You think so? Because it doesn't say in here. I don't think. Yeah, it doesn't say. Yeah, it just says like they won't be vulnerable anymore. It should be immune if it follows the same logic as mute. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking as well, but it doesn't say. Either way, I don't think it changed anything. Then Clash, Blackbeard, BB, Thunderbird, Jaeger, Sophia. I think that's it. Tackle down 2, Omai down 1, Jaeger up 1. Anything else we don't like in this list? I still think her aura is B for balanced. I still think that's fine. We could make Solus a situational operator instead of utter garbage, but I still think she's utter garbage. Because like you play her to enable a strat easier, she doesn't make or break the strat. Other than that, I feel like, yeah, Solus you can maybe argue for to be flex operator. Is like situational operator, I guess is the term I use. Does this mean that Bandit Mirror can break Ash Charge like old times? No, because Ash's breaching charge is immune to electrification, not the other way around. Bandits have always sapped enemies' gadgets, but Ash's breaching charge became immune to electrification. So I don't think that should change. At least it wouldn't make sense if it did. Why is Oryx utter garbage out of interest? Because the guy is... this guy, his only purpose in life is to counter Monty. That's his only reason to exist in the entire game. So if the enemy doesn't play Monty, you can play any other defender and it's better for you. And even if they do play Monty, like dashing into a Monty and not dying is hard. I will argue, if you dash a Monty and Oryx dies, but your teammate kills the Monty, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. However, if you dash the Monty and don't trade, or you don't hit him and you die and stuff, you're just dead. It's like playing armor and attack. You're playing 4v5 very quickly, right? No way, Maestro A. I'm not gonna lie to you, I almost put Maestro in S tier. With the new operator ban system, if you want to be cheeky and ranked, ban Brava, play Maestro, and Maestro's S tier. But because Brava exists, and with the old operator ban system, banning Brava is kind of difficult. I wouldn't advise it, but now you can literally just ban Brava and play Maestro and it's fucking free. It's so fucking free. Revert through hedges isn't useful enough? No. I cannot tell you a single time I have ever had Oryx go up a hatch and it was an issue for me or a clutch for my team. It's super loud, it's pretty slow, even though they buffed it a while ago. And it's just a niche situation because it only works against really bad players. And if you have like really lucky timing and whatnot. Why is Nuke situational? Because you only want to play her against Maestro, Valkyrie, Echo. And the current meta of the game, you don't put a lot of info on cameras. You play traps. You play Melusi, Fenrir, Lesion, Barbed Wire. You don't really play camera util the same way as before. Nuke works for a situational strat where you're backstabbing against information, like going bank garage, for example, against the evil eye bulletproof camera, or sneaking in against like a Valkyrie setup. But it only works against camera, no traps. So again, Nuke is a situational strat operator. Mav can't die to C4 so the wall is identified? Exactly. That's what happened to me on test server. I was mavericking the wall like I usually was, and I heard a C4 rip, and I was like, fuck, I gotta run away. And I ran away, and I looked at the wall, and it got sapped, and I was like, wait, I don't gotta run away. But now defenders can make a trick. You can rip the C4 and throw it, and then as you throw it, a second defender can shoot the bandit battery, and then you can trick the Maverick into thinking he's safe. This requires, of course, like coordination from teammates, but you can bait the Maverick into feeling comfortable and then go for a counterplay. Because if the Maverick is like proning or crouching and doing at the bottom line, and you pre-rip the C4 and shoot the battery, he's not gonna see it coming. At least not like in the beginning. Maybe after a few months people adjust to it, but definitely do it. Why is Thorn? She should be garbage because she has Trap Operator. She has a gun that actually works, unlike Ella, and she has the same gadget. If Ella's weapon was better, they would both be C tier or they would both be D tier. But Thorn is basically Ella with a better gun. That's essentially it. It's one of those. Because Ella's gun is literally unplayable for like the vast majority of players in the game. Thorn's gun isn't. In fact, Thorn's gun actually isn't even that bad. So, yeah. Monty C tier, you can't play the game as Monty. You lost melee prioritization and you can't hipfire. So Monty is now a team enabler. Monty himself cannot really do a lot in a round anymore. He's absolutely useless. It has to be like the enemy either stressing out, misplaying, or the team around the Monty that makes things happen. So that's essentially why. If you were to put the shields in order, it's like Blitz is probably like B for balanced, and then Monty is C below average, because Blitz can actually take gunfights and win 1v1s and take map space. Monty can't take anything alone. Like, Monty alone is one of the worst attackers in the game right now, probably. Even if you're a good shield player. Just because you can't do anything. Either you have to ADS a guy around the corner and pre-fire him, or you have to ADS in front of him and die, because you cannot win a melee fight. Every single melee you will lose, because melee prioritization is 2 defenders now. So you're great in like a post plant, you're great for planting, you're great for walking in like a drone and checking for information. But if you have an enemy in front of you and no teammates behind you, you cannot fight. You don't have a choice. Or you just have to like hope they're fucking bad in the gunfight somehow. One I think Maverick's better than that is that it's hard to see for him. Maverick is not down here because he's a bad operator to play. Maverick is down here because he's only good to play against Bandit Kaid 2 Brow. You never want to play Maverick unless they're playing a wall deny strat. It's a waste of time and resource. You better off playing Thermite, Hibana, or Ace, or can openers even. So the reason why Maverick is down here is not so much because he's bad, but because he's situational. So he could also go in this category. But I feel like because he's a heart breacher, I made the rule that I don't put any heart breachers in situational, because every heart breacher is situational. Thermite is better than Ace on some bomb sites, and Ace is better than Thermite on other bomb sites, and against mirror windows and yada 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 yada. So either I had to put all heart breachers in situational, or I had to give them an average ranking of value, which is why Hibana and Ace are the highest rated heart breachers, and Thermite is the second category, and Maverick is the third, because that's the utilization of the gadget on average. Thermite is worse than Hibana Ace because it's not a ranged heart breach, and there's not a hatch play these days. But then you have hatch play, you can do Ace plus can openers, right? You don't want to play Hibana plus Thermite. You play fucking Ace Hibana, or you play Ace can openers usually. There's a better value. Thermite is great for CC top floor, it's great for consulate basement, it's great for these specific circumstances. It's not great for every single round usage. Especially again, when mirrors open and played, Thermite becomes useless. So that's essentially how. Is a team game so Monty is a strong operator? No, because even if you have a team behind you, you have to play correctly for Monty to be useful. If Monty has to play the round well, so does his teammates to get any sort of value, right? Heart breaching is a natural construct of game that you play around. Shields are not at all. And often at times you can play Monty and bait yourself or your teammates into a bad position because you don't take verticality, you don't roam clear, you don't do the step 1, 2, 3. You cut corners when you play Monty because you can. That's what Monty gives you. But that's why Monty has to be played at a higher level, like with team around you or a good Monty player. Because if you have like an average player with an average team playing Monty, it's not going to be anything near like if you had a good Monty with an average team or a good team with an average Monty, right? Because you had to play around it correctly. So it's one of those. Ash maybe S tier? No, I wouldn't put Ash in S tier. I think Ash is only above average because Mirror exists. If Mirror didn't exist, I think she goes into B tier. Because Ash is like a must pick because it's like the only actual mirror count in the game pretty much. One of the only ones. Most reliable, easiest to play. But Ash is not a very high value operator. This is not necessarily, no. You're better off playing a fucking striker technically for utilities like flashbangs and nades, for example, EMP and can openers. You can problem solve anything but mirror windows. But the only real counter to mirror is Ash and Kali. Would you rather play Kali or Ash? That's the real question, no? So, Monty shouldn't be down there. He's played a lot of reload. I don't think he was played a lot of reload, first of all. But also, second off, just because an operator is played in reload doesn't mean they're not a good operator. Ella was also played a lot in reload. Doesn't mean she's a good operator. The way that pro players play the game, this is not a pro league tier list. If this was a pro league tier list, it would be a little bit different. This is a tier list that takes into account ranked, pro play, viability, and metagame. Would I put Anna in B for balance if this was a pro league tier list? No. She goes fucking utter garbage. Because nobody plays Anna in pro league and they never will because she's terrible for pro league. But when you look at what Anna can bring in a round of her average ranked round, there is nothing wrong with her. Great fucking weapon, intel gadget, and utility secondary. She's a completely balanced operator. She's not amazing, she's not terrible. She's straight in the middle. But for pro play, she's utter fucking garbage. So it's one of those. Liquipedia. Does this show what I wanted to show? It doesn't show operator statistics. That's a bummer. Mossy had a 13% pick rate in reload, right above Echo, Kaid, Tuberal, Jaeger, Aruni, Frost, Sentry. So Mossy is in the same category as like the flex operators, right? So he's not played a ton. He's played more than he was previously for sure, but he's still in the flex category, right? Situational. Again, you only play Kaid with Tuberal typically, or at the very least, often they're banned together, or one is banned, you can't play the other. So I wouldn't say he's played a fuck ton. He's not like a meta operator, right? Played less than Bandit even, or same percentile as Bandit. I have the 3-speed operators. There aren't many of them. There aren't many 3-speed operators in general, to be fair. A lot of them got changed to 2-2 operaters. But yeah. Position Mossy, shit weapon. Lowest bullet count automatic weapon in the entire game in the Roni. No zoom scope anymore. And also the gadget is extremely underwhelming, in my mind at least. Most Mossy pests you can navigate around very easily. And again, you only really play Mossy for like a roam strat. You play mute Mossy, you play Mossy top floor, you deny entry, you slow them down, etc, etc, etc. Mossy is not really an operator that you see played in a let's say, again, an average round of Rainbow Six Siege in pro player. It's a niche for specific strats typically. Mossy needs an insane weapon to be played at the highest level because his gadget doesn't give him anything. You can play a full round of Mossy and get 0 drones hacked. And maybe they don't even drone where you're putting the pests down, so you get, again, 0 value of them. You can also hack 4 cameras, then you're fucking crazy value, right? So it's one of those. Raw value versus active value. Always hard to come by. Give him a better weapon, a weapon buff, or a scope change, and the guy will probably climb from utter garbage to be for balanced. Like when he had the 1.5x, Mossy was technically like a B, C tier operator, but because 1.5 was so busted, he became an S tier because you just played the operator that had the zoom scope because it was fucking insane. Also, he lost a shotgun a while ago too. I actually forgot that he had a shotgun. The super shorty. He doesn't even have a shotgun anymore. That's a separate issue, but there's too many secondary shotguns in defense. Way too many. Right now, if you play like a really, really good round of defense, you can easily have 3 bulletproof cameras and 4 secondary shotguns. There are some rounds in ranked where we play 5 bulletproof cameras and 4 secondary shotguns, which is kind of crazy. And the fact that Lesion has one and Mossy doesn't feels a bit sad. I don't know. I don't think Lesion should have a shotgun personally. I feel like the way that operators are given shotguns isn't super logical. Anyway, that's the tier list. Small update for the Siege X launch.